Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest Gold, the best weekly Stardom and Marigold podcast anywhere in the world. I am as always Alex, and I'm joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. If y'all were curious, since this seems like a hot button issue, my Waffle House order is ham, egg, and cheese hash brown bowl with jalapenos. Douse that shit in ketchup and Tabasco sauce, and then 2 chocolate chip waffles with a lemonade. That's obviously the most important order of business to get to first. Second of all, I'm happy to be here. Hope everybody's having a good week. Alex, I hope you're having a good week. Where where I'm looking at this schedule and I was like, I don't want to watch any of these American shows if I'm being real.
Yeah.
With WrestleMania weekend, WrestleMania week next week, shit just don't entice me even a little bit. So yeah,
Pretty bad. A lot of it's pretty bad.
yeah. I was supposed to go to Windy City Riot, which is happening in a few days. Card's dog shit. I'm really happy I didn't. I'm bummed that I'm missing Tana versus Takeshita and Azumi versus Mina. But otherwise, it's like a 30-minute Gabe Kid match.
Yeah, that's a tough sell.
And like, there like also other matches are like, I mean, like Finley and Zach would be good, but it would just be a worse version of the very good match they had a week and a half ago. So like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? But yeah, I'm here and I'm ready to get into it.
All right. Well, head on over to the 5-star-network.com for all your latest articles and podcasts from the wonderful world of pro wrestling. Head on over to the 5-Star Network YouTube channel, which is where this, as well as Actress Stage and No Limit Wrestling, all go up. I don't think there's much that's happened. I think there was a new Actress Stage though, so you can check that out. Actress, the feeder to the world, basically. But after that, we'll just start. We'll start with Stardom. We're gonna try.
Wait. I have some things to say.
Whoa.
Um,
You did
No
hype the
Limit.
Mako thing already, so
Yes, but
that's fine.
we're gonna do No Limit Mako early May. We're gonna do that with
Oh,
Beth, Scott's or
okay.
not Scott's, Xavier's co-host over on Stars Pressed.
Sick.
We might drop the time capsule draft that me, Scott, and Xavier did months ago. We might do that
Dropping
for
it early.
April. Yeah, we might do it
Mm.
for April, just because we aren't gonna get anything out for April because the Mako thing is like right at the end of the month, so we'll probably drop an episode, and so we might do that. And also, I'm going to continue asking you until you read it.
Oh no.
Have
Come
you
on.
read my
Oh
article about Utami versus Io and Millennium Actress, the Satoshi Kon film from 2001?
no.
Okay,
And
I'm going to bring
you
this up
ask,
every single week
that's
until
going to
you
make me
read it.
less likely to read it. The
And that
more
means
you
I
press,
get to
less.
advertise it every single week
Okay.
until my close personal friend, who I have been doing a podcast for 4 years and 11 months with. Next year is our 5-year anniversary, Alex, and you can't
Oh dear
take
God.
the time to read my goddamn article. I'm going to bring it up until
Okay.
you read it, and we
Okay.
can have a conversation about it.
Okay. That sounds good.
Thank you.
All right.
WriteDylanWrite.substack.com. Love
Okay.
letters to the sky. Read it.
Okay. You
Not
all
just
do that.
Alex, everybody.
Yeah, you guys do the thing. Okay. Well, with that, we will get on to Stardom now. Stardom wrestlers outside of Stardom. The main stuff here, if I didn't lose it. Saya and Tam both competed in Pro Wrestling Wave. They were on a show. Saya defended against Honoka on a show on the 1st, and then she defended against Hirota on a show on the 5th, which is where Tam also wrestled Yuki Miyazaki. Um, so they got up to a lot of stuff. The show on the 5th, I haven't seen yet anywhere. Um, so I guess we'll just have to wait for that one to make it to Stardom World. But I mean, it's Hirota and Kamitani, so probably incredible. But I did like the Saya defense on the first against Honoka. I thought Saya was pretty great in that. She gave Honoka a lot, and kind of was a fantastic heel throughout that match. Like it was a genuine, holy shit, give this woman the world title and keep it on her forever kind of thing. Like she is just that seamless at every aspect of being a heel, and it really stands out in Wave where she gets to work with kind of the rookies and some of the less pushed people as well as the stars.
Yeah, I mean, I Hinoka's great, and I have heard great things about Saya and Wave. Um, so like I definitely believe it, and I'm excited. I will probably catch the Sakura Hirota match just because Sakura
Hirota.
Hirota.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, I'm happy to hear that she's still doing good work over in Wave. I did see, was it the Hirota match that ended as the Yuki Miyazaki versus Tam match was ending?
I
Like,
think
was that
so. Yeah,
the same show?
yeah, they did a bit.
Yeah, I found that kind of funny. I saw the clip of that. Um, I thought that was good stuff.
It was. Away Day Hate still probably the best thing going in terms of Stardom. Um, Speaking of hate, Konami was announced. Her match, or I should say, was announced for Bloodsport. She's going to take on former Stardom alumni Shayna Baszler. That's another WWE wrestler versus Stardom wrestler match.
I like that.
So that's kind of
I
fun.
Shayna and Masha had a good Bloodsport match, probably the best Bloodsport match on their show last year, I think. Year before, I think it was last year. I don't remember.
I have no
But when
idea.
that match happened, it was quite good, and it was the best on the show. So Shayna does, kind of have that little Bloodsport bump compared to her regular activities.
Hmm.
Um, I imagine Konami will as well to some degree. So yeah, I think that could be a little fun match. Um, because neither of them are particularly great in their like standard in their typical
I don't think
uh
Shayna is too
role.
bad. She's just not let do anything in WWE, but I do think she can be good there.
Yeah, no, I agree, but like I just have like she doesn't really do much at all. Um, and Konami has not been great in her current role at Stardom, so I expect both of them to kind of you know let loose and have a little fun here. Konami did with the Kotatsu match, my Fukuda match, last year at Bushido. I thought that was a fun little match. It wasn't anything great, but it
Hmm.
was fun, and I think this will be a bit more of a this will push her a bit more because she does have a lot of respect for Shayna, and she didn't for Maya Fukuda. So I expected to be a bit better than that, and she did well there. So yeah,
All right. Well, fingers crossed, because that show needs some sauce, to say the least. Um,
got Tamer
Also
Heights on
on
it. That's
that,
cool.
that's true. It's basically WWE's Bloodsport at this point.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty hefty, but yeah. Um, Rena was announced for a seed show. She is taking on Maria Kuga on their next show, and that's pretty cool. If you know Kuga, she's very, very good. And I think Rena and Hate kind of feuding with Seed is one of the most fun things going this year. It's just really interesting to me. And as I say, Away Day Hate is good, but against somebody like Seedling where they're gonna fight back. It's really fun. So I'm really into that one. I think Kuga has been very impressive to me this year. She's been
Yeah.
having some really fun matches. So I'm actually really looking forward to that match in particular.
Yeah. I mean, Rena's fighting the world. It's kind of based.
Yeah. Yeah, she got a cool match announced as well for the show, which we'll get onto.
Hmm.
Um FWC is busy this weekend. They are on a Gambare show on the 11th, Friday the 11th, apparently. They are teaming with Yuna Manase, formerly of Stardom, to take on Mocha, Haruki, Yuri, and Ami Manase, who I believe is just Rina Amakura under a mask because she has like three different gimmicks going, and it's hard to keep up. But that is a fun match, a nice little Koguma Hazuki Yuna Manase kind of reunion thing of sorts because Minase used to help train, maybe. I think
They
I could be way
debuted.
off,
They were
but
the
I
same
know.
class. They were the class.
Oh yeah, okay,
Inumanase
yeah,
and them were they were all classmates
yes, that
in
checks out a
Stardom.
lot more. They are
Yeah,
also defending.
Yuna was training when she debuted in 2014.
Listen, I wasn't sure. You never know.
Yeah, she
Um,
debuted a bit earlier, but or
where's
maybe.
the thing? Okay, no,
Where?
that's the wrong one. Okay, well, I guess we have to do this now. There's a couple of Stardom wrestlers on Ranmaru Fest again. Suri Ano is on there, as is Aya Sakura, and I believe somebody else. Mako is
Were you
also
looking
on
for
that
the Oz
show.
show
Was, and then I clicked on the
on
wrong
Ranmaru?
one by
Gotcha.
mistake, which is pretty fair. I mean, Ranmaru is pretty beast, but yeah,
I love Ranmaru.
she does have a few Stardom wrestlers on that one, but I don't. There's no way to find those matches. I have no idea who's wrestling who on the Ranmaru Fest. Um, yeah, the other FWC matches that they are defending the Oz Tag Team Championships. This is on a Corkin show dedicated to Sonoko Kato. Um, so I'm going to believe that they drop the belts on this one because Kuragaki and Kahaku will like win for Oz basically.
Mm.
Which I could be
Yeah, I
way
mean,
off, but that's kind of what I would expect.
I could see it. I don't think there's. It's interesting because Kohaku and Kuragake is a strange team to run as like the defeating, Stardom's best duo type of thing. Um, but also, Kuragaki could definitely like she just wins, so she could just like I don't know. It's odd, but I do expect an FWC loss here. Um,
Yeah, I would take the belts off them just ahead of the Yokohama Arena show anyway, so that
yeah,
kind of makes sense to me. But yeah, I could definitely see a world where Kohaku gets the win. They kind of like her, or it'll just be Kuragaki because she's the veteran.
I think Kuragaki would probably beat Koguma.
Yeah.
I do find it weird though because I don't know. I think this is one of the only times where like Stardom would probably want their wrestlers to stay strong heading into a big title match at their biggest show ever. You probably wouldn't want to pin Koguma,
Hmm.
but also Stardom doesn't care like I don't know, like if they don't care like almost ever, but if they were going to care, I feel like it'd be here, um, and keeping the belts on them. But I don't know. It's a strange, you know.
Yeah, it is. The booking is the booking, but I could definitely just see them thinking, okay, let's get these other belts off of FWC before they defend or they challenge Wingori because they're probably going to lose, I would imagine. So Oz might not want their tag belts on wrestlers like that. Also, Ozaki is back now, so she probably will want some title, and she's more likely to beat Kohaku than FWC. So, that's my thought. Um, the last one that I can see from Stardom wrestlers outside of Stardom is Azumi taking on Mina Shirakawa on the New Japan Strong Show. That is a Windy City Riot, and that is an unofficial number one contenders match for Mercedes
No,
Moné's.
it is an
It's
official
an
number
official number one contenders match for Mercedes Moné's
The winner
New
will
Japan's women's
challenge
title.
at Resurgence.
Oh, when is that?
May? Early
Oh,
May?
yeah, okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
would imagine Azumi does win, considering she's the one who challenged.
Yeah, it's early May.
Yeah.
I
Um,
agree.
okay. But that is all that I can see from Stardom wrestlers and other promotions. I don't think there's much. I don't think WrestleMania week starts by this point next week. Does it? No, it's next Thursday, Wednesday.
No,
So
Mania Weeks starts, yeah, roughly.
yeah, so we will be able to look ahead to all that next week anyway. So that's all right.
Yep.
Um, and with that, we have Stardom news. Kind of an eventful day, basically. They did all this today. I don't think there's any other stuff to touch on though. Oh, well, I guess we should. So I forget the name of it already, but Stardom announced that they're doing the golden ticket thing on um, TV Asahi. This is basically a show dedicated to finding new trainees for Stardom. And obviously, TV Asahi is a pretty big channel. It's one of the biggest stations in Japan. It has a built-in fan base for pro wrestling because they are part owners of New Japan and then by proxy Stardom. Um, and we've seen shows like this work pretty well. I mean, Ice Ribbon did it
Mhm.
twice. Gave them Hikaru Shida the first time, and the second time it gave us Mifu Ashida. Uh, Tokijoshi Pro did a similar one, right? They did Dream to the Ring, which was Wakana,
Less
who was pretty
successful,
over.
but
Less
yeah.
successful, but did give them Wakana, who is pretty over. At least I think she came from that. I can't fully remember. Um, but like,
Maybe. I think you're right.
yeah, it was her and Shino, wasn't it? And maybe somebody else that came from that one. But my knowledge is being tested there. But
Yeah,
either
yeah.
way,
She joined the Dream Pro Wrestling Project.
okay, that's beast. Shows like this tend to provide really good trainees because you are going to get wannabe actresses and kind of failed entertainers looking for a good gig. And those people tend to make great wrestlers because they already understand like engaging an audience, which is always the hardest part. But if they get that from day one, they're more likely to adjust to pro wrestling, which is kind of why Actress Girls is so successful. They have these people who know exactly how to make an audience give a shit, and then they just train them to wrestle, and it works really well, and it has worked really well for a decade now for the rest of the scene. So I'm really excited for that because I think all it takes is one or two of the rookies to have a very interesting story told on that show for a lot of people to check out Stardom and like get really behind these new women. And then beyond that, just having it on TV Asahi is pretty big too. So I don't know if we'll ever see the show. I don't know what many details about the show, but I think it could be a very, very big thing for Stardom going forward.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, excuse me. I'm still sick.
Oh,
I've been dying for the past week and a half.
oh jeez.
Um, yeah, I mean, Storm's been getting a lot more spots on like mainstream television in Japan. So like this is just kind of another example of that, but this will probably lead to a pretty, I would imagine, a flourishing dojo over there because like you said, I think there are a lot of people who look at wrestling as like, okay, like nothing else is working, let's try to get this. Um and with wrestlers being on TV more and doing these things, Saya Kamitani being in a lot of these spots, it'll be even more enticing. And being on TV Asahi is also pretty important. I will say that means that none of us will ever be able to see it because TV Asahi don't play about striking you down if you show a clip from their TV shows. So
That is true.
if if you see a single person from that project on Twitter, just know that the person who posted it is getting shot as we speak. Because that's how TV Asahi works. But yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I think it could be an interesting little thing. But I also, you know, I don't know. Stardom has tried to do this before, and it didn't really like amount to much. But I think having TV Asahi behind them is the difference maker this time around.
Yeah,
Not that it
I
didn't
mean,
amount to much. It just it didn't amount to an insane amount like you might expect. So we'll see.
yeah. Well, yeah, I just think it's important to point out. Um, we also had Starlight Kid revealed to Yuji Nagata that she was planning to leave Stardom last year, which
Mm.
we've basically spent the entire year going, yes, we know, because Fumi said it. Fumi was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, there's these two like cruiserweight kind of youngsters who are like maybe gonna leave Stardom." And I was like, that could literally
And
only
they
be about
just
two
so
people.
happen to be in the second biggest match the next year.
Yeah, like I like she did not get a babyface turn on her own faction and the white belt for no reason. So, they were definitely playing a game of kind of keeping Starlight Kid happy, which I would too. She's a fantastic wrestler. If it was up to me, I would do everything I can to keep her and not let her slip through my fingers. So, yeah, I mean that's just confirming what we had kind of hinted at all year when we were talking about Neo Genesis a lot of the time. Um, but now it is out there to the world. Um, but obviously, everybody will be talking about today's press conference. Stardom announced a few more matches for the All Star Grand Queendom show. Specifically 2 more, I think. They already had those ones. And those, yeah. So the first one, pretty fascinating one. Yumika Hoda versus Rina. Very good. I like Hota. I like what Hota does in the modern day.
I think it's
And then
wild that they
Rina could be
put together the singles match. I feel like
um, uh,
Hoda. I'm surprised they didn't do like Miku and Hoda against like Rina and anybody. Nobody's on the card, so
yeah.
like
I don't know.
literally
Maybe
any of
can I
Rina's
will lose another match. I just think it's
potentially.
easier. It's a better, more fun thing for them to be able to build to like a generational singles match. It's like, oh, the new hot star against this, former champion from the 90s. I think it has a very easy ploy to it. And Rina can lose. I mean, these legends get a lot of protection anyway, so it's not going to kill her
Yeah.
if she loses to Hoda. And if she just has a cool performance, it will do enough, I think.
Oh, totally. I think it'll be very fun to see. And I mean, Rena sold it pretty well. Where she was like, we done with the '90s, bro. We done. I'm tired of this shit. Fuck
Oh, yeah.
AJW. Rena's the only motherfucker that matters, and I think that's based. I
She's
think
pretty cool.
that's a great way to kind of sell it. Though many people in the past have said that and then got their shit rocked.
Yeah, no,
And I
that's
expect
what
her to
happened.
too. So
Yeah. They also announced Meiko Satomura, Mika Iwata, and Yuna versus Natsupoi, Shiori Ano, and Aya Sakura for that show. That is one of Meiko's last matches before her retirement. It's going to be her last Stardom appearance. It's a pretty big deal to get her on there, and it's pretty cool for her to get to wrestle in Yokohama Arena. I don't know if Gaia ever ran there. That would be a real
they
blind spot for me.
they definitely did.
Are we
I'm
sure?
almost positive.
Did they run the Crush 2000 show there?
Hold on,
That
I'm
would
checking.
make the most sense, but they ran, like, Kawasaki a lot or something, didn't they? They ran some weird spots instead of, Yokohama, so I'm fully sure.
Uh oh, that's Small Hall. Yokohama Arena was the 4th anniversary show. Asuka versus Chigusa.
That checks out. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's fair, but that's
The
a
first
long
one, not the second one.
breakaway. That's a long breakaway from Yoko Arena for Mako, so it's nice to see her get back there. But honestly, I think today's
She
press
tagged
conference was
with
notable.
Kato against Aja
Oh,
and
shit.
Ozaki, actually.
That's sick. But today's press conference was notable because this was like the best press conference they've done in a long time. And I don't just say that because it was for a big show. I think everybody had the shooting boots on. Um, and they also kind of rounded out a lot of the stories, I would say. So starting from the bottom and going up, and I mean that literally, what did Stardom tweet about first? Um, it was Rana versus Hina. Yeah, no, that one was pretty standard. Maika and Chihiro Hashimoto for the Sendai Girls World Championship. They set this up last week when Maika showed up on a Sendai show. The promo for this was fantastic. Maika was just like, "You are jealous. We run bigger venues than you. You can't stomach that. I'm gonna beat you and face Mika Iwata." And Hash just lost her fucking mind. It was incredible. They gave so much heat to this just off of one promo.
Her saying that Micah has the stardom induced god complex was very
Oh, that
funny.
was such a bar.
Yeah, no, that was great. And yeah, it was a very good way to set up the match in which Chihiro's gonna kill her. It's awesome.
Well, yeah, probably. Unless Micah wins. They might
Dude,
do that. But,
they shouldn't.
well, Sendai needs to fill some big venues this year, and Mako is retiring, so I think they might want to run this back on a Sendai show where Chihiro gets the belt back and probably has a Sendai Girl wrestler beat Aya. Sendai Girls loves that trope of like the whole army winning all the belts back, so I could definitely see them doing that on the big show in Sendai this year.
Oh boy.
But anyway, that was a fantastic promo. Maika, when she wants to, just absolutely goes in, and you're like, oh, all right, cool. Speaking of going in, Wingori versus FWC. They all aired the dirty laundry. Um,
Yeah, like a lot of
they
it.
they had been hinting at this story kind of online and in promos for a while, where Hanan was like, "We suck, and it's Hazuki's fault. Everybody hates her." She did not play around
No,
here.
she had like receipts, bro. Like she was like, so, uh, does everybody remember that match where Hazuki faced Matoy last year, and she bullied her, had a shitty match, and then said that Matoy sucked in the backstage comments? Yeah, I think that's not how you make wrestlers get better and join your faction. And in fact, I said that, and Hazuki apologized on Twitter. And I said, that's weird, as Hazuki doesn't apologize. So I asked the office and found out that the office told her to. And I said, damn, this bitch sucks. And I was like, oh, okay.
That is crazy.
And then Hana was like, and then the office said we had to get along. So that's what we've been doing. But I hate her. And I was like, okay, damn. Oh, oh, oh. And everybody started crying. It was like
It was
it was a
very
whole thing.
intense. It was very intense.
It was very uncomfortable.
Hazuki also was like lobbing bombs. She was not taking that one lying down.
Dude, Hazuki was like, "Oh, I don't like stars, dude. I came up with the idea for the sweatshirts. I came up with the idea." And she was saying all of her ideas, and she's like, "Meanwhile, you ain't been doing shit." And I was like, "Oh, fuck, okay." Um, then Hanan brought up that Hazuki said to Hanan's face that she was rooting for Micah and Hanako to win the tag league over FWC, and
Oh my
and
goodness.
And Hazuki was like, "Well, I mean, they beat us, and we're the best team, so obviously, I want them to be the best team." Like that's how that. And it was just a mess. It was messy, messy.
Yeah.
I don't think Stars is surviving. I don't.
Yeah,
Um,
Hazuki is bouncing the second she can. That because somebody messaged me and was like, "This just got very uncomfortable and very tense."
yeah.
When Hanan and Hazuki were talking, so somebody please separate them. So
Well, it started with that. Like it started. Hazuki was just kind of like Hanan was just going at her.
yeah,
Uh, and Hazuki was just looking dead, like into space. And I was like,
yeah,
okay,
Hanan seemed
is
too
this?
happy. She had that like aura about her of like, I'm getting all this off my chest.
She was
She
like
looked so happy.
not to be that guy, but she was very much in punk mode. Like, where was
Yes.
her muffin, bro? She was just out there. Um, and then yeah, Hazuki and her fought a little bit, and then Saya talked briefly, and Koguma was kind of like the peacemaker, where she was kind of the therapist, and she started crying a little bit. So not very good therapist. You're not supposed to cry
No,
for your therapist.
no.
Um, but yeah, hmm.
Mm. Well, they made that one of the most interesting matches. We had
I'm
known that they
I'm
would do that eventually, because Hanan has been saying it for months that Hazuki is the problem here. And so I was
oh
like,
no, she
okay, well,
said
they're
it.
gonna
She
play
said
it
his
eventually.
she said Hazuki was the problem once, and then they like buried it,
Well,
uh,
kind of.
and
It
just
it
kind of
never
kept
went
them
away
apart
though.
from
She
each
was
other.
always kind of like, I don't know, Stars kind of sucks, man. I don't know. Like that was her thing for a while
Yes,
there.
I mean,
So
yeah, that's been
I
her
kind of
thing,
figured
and
they would pick it back up. But she
I mean,
said, no, we're gonna lob this one.
Hazuki did outright say, "Are you trying to kick me out of Stars right now?
Oh my god.
Because you don't have the authority to do that."
Yeah.
And
Didn't Hanan say she wants to be leader? She was like,
yeah,
we need to
and and
change.
and Hazuki was like, "There's a hierarchy here. I think she said this again, like almost word for word. She says it goes Mayu, me, Koguma, Ida, and the small fry.
My god. What an
That was how it
incredible press
translated.
conference.
Again, I like that was how it translated. So I might be wrong, but that was what it said, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Mm,
Um,
very fascinated here. Hazuki and Hanan might commit crimes, which is great.
yeah,
I
I'm
like
worried
that.
about that match now.
Nah,
Because
don't
it'll
be.
either
It's
be
fine.
no, it'll either be fucking like insane and like really absurd, or they will have to like work
We
around it.
talk about 7 Up versus New Eras too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, or they'll have to work
Do
around it,
the countdown finish. Hazuki's
which
like, I ain't dropping the fall to this one.
yeah, that's what I mean. Is that
Incredible.
it's like either they will like go all out and really kill each other, or they will have to work around it. And one of those is really awesome, and one of those is not. So we'll see.
I think we'd be all right. We then had Mayu and Siri kind of talk, and they kind of went the
Oh yeah,
simple route.
also Mayu after the fact, like an hour ago, so like at 1 a.m. was like, I tried to fix things in Okinawa, but it didn't work. I'm pathetic and a terrible leader.
Down
Um,
for Mayu.
so yeah, so it's all coming down.
Yeah, the Siri Mayu promo wasn't anything to write home about other than Siri saying she's been kicking the training dummy so hard she has bruised legs, which is pretty incredible. She's going to beat the brakes off of Mayu. They're going to do a reverse of their other match
Mhm,
where Mayu kind of murked Siri and Siri is going to absolutely murder her, I think. So
mhm.
looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. Um, Kid and Azumi then, they put the leadership of Neo Genesis on the line, which I think is an interesting wrinkle to their white belt match. Um, I mean, it kind of gives away that Starlight Kid is winning. She is the star here. She is the pushed commodity. This is her group. But I do think it's good to kind of give extra stakes, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. And they tied it in that
Yeah.
it was like, well, Suzu left because there was no real structure here, and it just
Yeah.
feels like we're all in it for ourselves.
Hmm.
So let's like reform, like reformat this. There needs to be a leader, which
Seems very
I
fair.
kind of yeah. I think Suzu is a big thing about Stardom right now. Where is
Kind of.
she on this card?
Yeah.
What is she doing on these house shows?
Yeah, her
It
follow up
just
has been weird. Her best follow up was the Tokyo Sports interview. And even that kind of
frankly, I feel like
was
they should have just
iffy.
put Suzu and Miyu on this card. Like, because they're
Um,
I don't think they're
I would
gonna do
imagine
Suzu
they're
and
gonna do
Mei,
something with
because
like a
Mei
tag.
needs. I know, and that sucks. I think they should have just done Suzu versus Miyu, because it gives Miyu a chance to shine, and it lets
I
Mei
think there's
defend the
too
belt.
many matches on this card as is. I think they're really running out of space.
Why is Yamika Hoda on the card? Like I know why,
She
but like
rocks
I agree, but like they are
because
trying
Rina
to
is more
tell
important to
these
them than
dumb
Suzu
stories.
because they
Sh-
care more about Rina than Suzu or Miyu Amasaki. That's
But
basically it.
what is Rena doing right? Like I feel like they have too much dip on their chip.
Mm, I disagree. I think we'll have to wait and see how it goes, but
I think
I think we
when
can leave that off.
your top faction has a massive breakup,
They are not the top faction though.
they
Cosmic
won the
Angels is
faction
quite
tournament.
simply the top
And
faction.
Cosmic Angels is
Cosmic
dying.
Angels
Also,
is their
also
baby.
the Cinderella winner is not on the card. Also a
Yes,
point. Like
pretty fascinating.
again, too much dip on the chip. I don't know
Okay,
what they're doing.
well, we shall see. Um, the most important thing though was Tam and Sai's promo for their match. I think they did a good thing here. I think they clarified a lot, specifically Tam. I will just try and find the tweet if my phone would stop trying to reply to messages. Um, so this is from Stardom's own Twitter. It is a Japanese to English translation. Tam was like, "Promise no seconds." And one other thing, there's no retirement match at a later date. There's no retirement road. There's no ceremony. If I lose, I'm done. I am goodbye, Kamitani forever. I will leave the pro wrestling world. This is kind of what I wanted. She didn't mention the Sayaka Kurara wish, but I do think this includes the Sayaka Kurara wish. It is like as soon as I lose, it's over. And I kind of wanted that because I had been wondering if they were going to cop out to a degree and go, okay, well, you're going to retire, but we'll do 2 or 3 shows and you're going to do 2 and 3 months and then you'll retire on this show. Or like they would do a gauntlet at the next pay per view to like sell tickets or whatever. But I do think her basically saying this is the final stop makes it a lot easier to invest in what they're going to do because you're less like worried that they're going to pull the curtains over your eyes again like they did with the loser leave stardom stipulation because they could have easily just bullshitted the way out of it, but I think with Tam saying what she did, it's kind of like, okay, there will be no bullshit, this is it.
I will say the no ceremony thing is weird, because I feel like you should definitely have a ceremony for either of them. Like I feel like that just like you should
Well, at this
definitely do
stage
that.
we all know Tam is retiring. Saya Kamitani retained the wave title. She is going to be wave
Yes.
champion. I don't think she's retiring. But I mean, I think just the show itself is enough. She's going to main event Yokohama Arena on her way out. Like that is absurd, you know?
Well, I guess it depends on what they mean by no ceremony. Because if she just walks away and just never, I'll be like, damn, not even the 10 bell. That's crazy. Like
Yeah. Well, she might
that's.
do a 10 bell, but I don't think she's
I
gonna
think
do
Tam. But I
2
also can
hours.
definitely see Tam being like, I need to be so different that I'm not even going to do the one thing that pretty much every Joshi wrestler who retires properly ever has done.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe
like,
maybe she just said that and it's
yeah,
exaggerated and she will do a ceremony. But I think her point was this is the
like
last stop.
no, this like Yokohama Arena ends it. Yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah. Funnily enough, I thought we'll talk about it a little bit. I watched the house shows and I watched the Tam last homecoming show.
Hmm.
Um, and the dance was what actually got me. I was
Yes.
like, "Holy fuck, like, this is over."
Yeah, no, I had
It
that
kinda
feeling
made
at
me, like
the Korakuen.
yeah,
I
it
had
kinda
that.
gave me, like a, "Oh, wow, like, this is really, like, this is the end of the cosmonauts." Um, and I think this press conference kind of, like, shook me back out of it. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I hate these 2." Oh, yeah, like, I was like, "Oh, yeah, these
They have
I'm
been
not fans of
so
these 2."
great this last week. They have been feuding everywhere. They beefed
Yes.
in Wave. They like
Yes.
attacked each other during the opening ceremony in Wave. They fought at a theme park, and Saya
Mhm.
Kamitani was on like a little bus thing and was like, "Hey, what up, bitch?"
Cosmic Angels had dinner, and then Hate stormed in, beat the fuck out of them, and took their seats and started
Yeah,
having dinner. And like Natsuko like posted pictures of her at the seat that they just beat up Tam and Sakakura at. Uh, yeah, no, a lot of funny stuff there. That I found very interesting and very entertaining. Um, but you know me with Tam press conferences, it always feels like she's trying to like do too much, but
mm,
also like that's why people love her. So I completely understand. Like I'm not coming down on her, but it just reminded me that it's like, oh yeah, I still got to deal with Tam until it's over for real, Because it felt like that dance was really like, oh yeah, we're done. Like Yokohama Arena, it's over. But the press conference was like, oh wait, there's still a little bit more Tam in there. I still gotta stay at alert because there's still the Tam Road isn't at the
I
end of the line
choose
yet.
to enjoy it while we have it because she is still crazy, and I think we're gonna miss it when she's eventually gone. But that's just
I
me.
don't.
But yeah, that was, as I said, an excellent press conference. I think they gave heat to some of the matches, and some of the other ones got like important story beats. The only thing that didn't advance really was Rana versus Hina, but you don't need to advance Rana versus Hina. It's fine. Um,
Yeah, they're tag partners who
it's-
are fighting each other for a belt.
yeah, it's
I will
it's
also say that's
pretty
also what
straightforward.
kind of made the Wingori stuff so like stand out is that there are 3 interfaction matches on this card.
Yeah,
And like you know, Kid and Azumi were like, "Yeah, we're the greatest opponents. Like we are each other's, rival soulmates even if we are teammates and we are doing this out of love because we want, justice, all that stuff." Same with Rana and Hina. It's like, "Yeah, we're teammates, we're rivals, blah blah blah." And then they were like really going at it. And it's like, "Oh, this feels uncomfy." Um, so yeah, just compared to everything else, it was also like real, real messy. I suggest everybody go out of their way to watch that segment very specifically because
yes.
it was fucking it was a trip. It was a therapy session.
Now let's see.
Talking about the
We
ladies.
have the review section of the show. We start with Stardom Nighter 2025 in Corkin. This is on April 2nd in front of 1,458 fans. Um, I think this Stardom Nighter thing, I remember when we first talked about it, we were like, I'm not sure what this will do. It's been very successful. I mean, I don't
Mhm.
know if a single one has been under 1,000 since like the first two. Like it is a very good concept that seems to have got people in the door. So, you know, clap of the hands for Stardom for coming up with that one. Um, We opened with Tekla, Konami, and Rina beating Hanako, Wakasuyama, and Rian in a 5-minute squash. Basically, Tekla pinned Rian with the Poison Spider Death Drop, and that was kind of it. This was basically to set up a promo. It wasn't really much of a match. It was just kind of a one-sided angle more than anything.
I already told you I wasn't gonna watch it.
That is fair. So what they set up is that afterwards, Micah got in the ring and was like, "Hey, stop beating on my faction, and hey, you can't wrestle Tara Okada, so why don't you wrestle me in Las Vegas?" So Ekla's whole thing not getting a payoff on Yokohama Arena, kind of funny. But yeah, that Vegas show kind of being headlined by Micah versus Tekla is pretty big indication of how they view that show.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I watched Clark Connors have a great match last week,
Yeah,
and it just got like I just realized that I was like, damn, this girlfriend's really bad.
yeah, no, that's fair. Our next match was Saida, Hanan,
Yeah,
and Yuria.
I'll be right back. Actually, 1 second.
Saida, Hanan, and Yuria beat Sayaka Kurara, Aya Sakura, and Akira in 10 minutes when Ida beat Akira with a lariat. Ida's kind of incorporated that lariat in as her main finisher now. Akira and Yuria continue to do really good stuff anytime they get to wrestle. But the best stuff here was that I think Ida and Akira down the finishing stretch was very good. I'm very high on Akira. I think she's a pretty good wrestler. Um, and Wing Gory are good. So no, did you watch it?
It was. I did. It was good, but it wasn't anything crazy.
All right. Hazuki, Maitani, Koguma, and Momokogo took on Lady C, Siri, Tomoka Inaba, and Rani Yagami. Hazuki won the match for her team by beating Lady C with the Magistral
Hazuki
in
Strong.
the Hazuki Straw in 10 minutes. But I actually did I skip this one? If I didn't, then it was very forgettable because I honestly
It
thought I
was
skipped it.
it was all right. Mayu and Sherry did some bits.
Hmm.
Obviously Koguma, uh, Big Dog, Big Bear Koguma was doing bits because it's God's Eye. Um, yeah, like the most notable part of this match was Hazuki holding Shuri on the outside and making her watch as Koguma did the "I'm watching you" thing, and then did the bear pose on Tomoka. I think.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So it was all right.
All right. In a Future of Stardom Championship match, Hina beat Tabata in 9 minutes with the Mud Splash, um,
Mhm.
her version of the Frog Splash, and I thought this was a good match. I
Same.
like Hina of a few months ago couldn't have had this, but Hina now just
I don't
can.
think that's true, but yeah, she definitely. Yeah, I think this was a very good match.
Tabata's gear was very off-putting though. The skin colored gear is such a eyesore to me that I was like, "What are we doing here?"
It's very
Um,
luchadora though. I feel like I've seen a few luchadoras with like that type of gear.
yeah, but not the skin toned one. I think that just
Yeah.
makes it look odd.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I didn't love it. Like
Yeah.
but well,
That
excuse me. Why is it
that's
weird when I say, "Oh yeah," I like when I have takes on gear, but it's normal when you do it. This is discrimination.
yeah, no, that's what, that is very fair. I will take that to HR. But yeah, this is a good match, good future of Stardom title match. We had a special singles match. Micah beat Mina Shirakawa in 20 minutes with the Michinoku driver number 2. Himeka was here for this one, and she presented Mina with a gift before the match, and then was on commentary. This was a great match. I don't know if that's like way out there, but I thought Mina since the press conference has been like the Mina that made me think she could be a star. Like, all the charisma is back, all the confidence is back, all of the like excitement in ring is back, and I thought she hung with Micah like really well here. And if like I just came away going, wow, what could have been if Micah had been able to, or Mina had been able to kind of see her full potential in Stardom.
Um, yeah, I mean, I thought I wouldn't call it a great match, but I definitely thought it was a very good match, and I would agree that like Mina has really been in form lately. It's kind of a bummer. Uh, because obviously she's leaving. But yeah, I thought it was a fun match. I appreciated it. Um, going into the show, I looked at it and I was like, none of these matches really like talk to me much at all. Um, but I ended up being pleasantly surprised by the quality of this match and the main event, especially. Because yeah, no, I thought it was quite good.
I loved the ending actually. I know it was probably a bit too over the top for some people, but Micah like holding Mina's hand in the pose and then putting her down, pretty beautiful.
Mm,
Mina's entrance as well, coming through the crowd in Cork and doing the dance,
yeah,
just exceptional. The vibes have never been more back, but they are also literally
they're leaving.
leaving. So yeah, I was very upset with this one, but it was a great match and a good send off for Mina. Um, I can't remember if they did anything after this match. I genuinely, it has evaded my mind if they did.
I don't think
Um,
so.
no. We then had the Neo Genesis team of Azumi, Mei Seira, and Mio Masaki and Suzu Suzuki going to a no contest with the hate team of Saya Kamitani, Natsuko Tora, Rocca, and Azusa Inaba. Suzu beat up both teams after 12 minutes to lose the match. There was one moment of miscommunication too much with Mei Seira. She briefly feigned teaming with Natsuko and then also beat up Natsuko and then announced that she was done with Neo Genesis and she was going on her own road.
Not to dwell on it, but I will also say that the Suzu storyline is made way funnier once again by the Wingori FWC storyline because like Suzu's annoyed over like a couple weeks of like not being on the same page with Meisera, whereas like and Hanan has beef with Hazuki apparently dating back to the Matoi match that happened in like October, and like the difference in like reaction is very funny to me.
Yes.
But also, Suzu kind of explained it in the Tokyo Sports, which I appreciated, where she was kind of like she made up with Mei Sarah, kind of like just to kind of put a brush under the rug, but then she noticed that like Azumi like didn't really care that much, and nobody really cared, and she just realized that it was kind of a dead end position, um, in a group of individuals that didn't really care about each other. So why should she care about Mei Sarah type of thing? Yeah, I thought the turn was done well. Like I thought it was frustrating because I felt like this was a rare instance of Suzu really meshing well with Neo Genesis, like this match before the turn. Like everything was
Mhm.
clicking a lot more than it usually does, even for Suzu and the team. So when it once it happened, I was like, damn, like we finally got it. It finally clicked, and now it's over, type of thing. Same
Yeah.
with Mina. It was kind of similar, where it's like, oh, Mina's finally clicking again, and then it's over.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of felt with Suzu in there with like Meisera. I felt like Crazy Star was really finding the groove again, which outside of like the Wingori match, which even then I think that was less of a Crazy Star great match and more of a Suzu and Meisera doing well type of thing. I just didn't feel
Yeah.
like the same level of cooperation as they used to have. This match I did. I started seeing like things clicking a lot more. So I was a bit bummed that it ended with that. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in the story. I'm less interested now because I feel like the immediate follow up is telling me that it doesn't matter. Um,
Yeah, they're not doing great with that.
and not even the
Suzu just
immediate
going
follow up,
with
but like
Nando's.
even like really like put Suzu on the Yokohama card. That's my point. You know what I mean? Like do something here. Like just anything.
Yeah.
Do anything.
Well, Suzu getting her own group is kind of intriguing.
Mm.
Like I don't know who goes there, but I am expecting a big shakeup after Yokohama Arena because obviously EXV needs number two. Cosmic Angels is going to need a new leader. Suzu is going to need her crew. I would put Akira with her just because I think
Yes.
Akira needs to be with a heel-ish kind of team, but not hate. So I'd put Akira with Suzu,
Oh,
but
that was
even
another thing.
then, not
Suzu
fully
said
sure.
that hate ain't mean enough.
That is
I was
insane.
like, that's an interesting.
Imagine she went full House of Torture,
What she said was that she's like they're all playing bad guy. Like, have you ever met them? They're like sweethearts. Like this is
but
this
like
is
so
dumb.
is Suzu. She's just like a
Correct.
lizard queen. She just like likes lizards and death matches.
And likes drinking. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
she's
like
just a nerd.
yeah.
She just likes drinking, death matches, and fucking animals. Like not
Azumi and
separate to two
Saya
words.
at one
Not
point did some good stuff here. They kind of seem to be doing a lot of that because they work well together. But that was the only real takeaway
yes.
from the match. The main event then was Tam Nakano beating Suriano in 18.5 minutes with a Twilight Dream.
Can I say
Um,
really quickly? Sorry.
yeah.
In between this, while I was watching the Nighter, which was just the other day, um, I was tricked into
Oh
watching a
no.
DDT match.
Really?
Well,
What one?
cause Yoshimura, my boy, he's back finally.
Yeah.
And I was so happy. And he started the match, and it was fun. And then he got out and never got back in, and it was terrible. The rest
Sounds
of the
like
match was not
DDT.
good. Yeah, Higuchi tried, but like it just it wasn't a good match. Um, but yeah, so in between, that made me I think appreciate the main event a bit more.
Okay. This was actually the match that drove to me that we're losing Tam. Like her and Nano stared down, and I was like, "Oh, this is it. Like this is gonna be over in a few weeks, man." And then they had a great match. I mean, we always knew these two would have a great match. Ano is just a fantastic wrestler, and she wrestles a very Tam style. Like she was always going to gel with Tam. And the slaps and the strikes were insane. Tam slapped Ano so hard that for once I was like, I just couldn't do that. Like if you hit me like that, I am crying for weeks. I am on the floor. My bones have shattered. Like I'm done. And Ano was just eating them. Like oh my god, they were going crazy. Yeah, this was so great. I loved
I
this.
think after we've been talking about a lot, like what will happen after Yokohama Arena, uh, in terms of like what will the event scene look like. I feel like Ano needs to be a
Yes.
big piece
Oh,
of that.
her and Saya Kamitani should be, like, a big thing.
Yeah, because like I feel like she's one of the only people that are ready for that, and she also already held the white belt twice, so it's like she doesn't really have that. Like she shouldn't go back to that,
Yeah.
because there's like 17 people eligible to go back to that. So yeah, I think this was a great performance from both women, because it was just a really fun match, and yeah, Ano when Ano's on, she's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
She's not always on, and sometimes she's actively off, but when she's on, she's just so incredible, and I thought this was one of those instances of that. And Tam as well. Tam and Cork and Hall usually pretty good, and this was no different.
Alright. That was that show. We then went oh, no, not that show. Unagi showed back up again afterwards and, was kinda like, "Hey, I think I should team with you guys on Anjo," which is something I pitched last week. I was like, "It's weird that Unagi is not on the Anjo show," and then there we go. She's on the Anjo show.
I
Um,
pitched that the original Cosmic Angels team up, and they didn't, but they did do the thing.
they did.
The,
Um,
the one thing that like any that people anybody wanted to see that
yes,
I don't need to see the three of
that's
them
true.
together wrestling.
So yeah, that set up our show in Anjo, which had 1,008 people. This is where Tam Nakano was from, obviously, so that was kind of a big selling point. But also Mina Shirakawa, this was her last date with Stardom.
In
Um,
Japan. Yeah.
yeah, so we had Hina, Siri, and Lady C beating Suzu Suzuki, Akira, and Yuria. Uh, Hina pinned Akira with the jackhammer in 10 minutes. So the rookies are getting the B tier finishers, which is crazy. Um, yeah, this is when I went, "What are we doing with Suzu in the immediate aftermath?" Because she was just kind of there for a lot of this match, and she
Mhm.
didn't even get like pissed off that Akira lost. She just kind of was helping her to the back. Um, I'm not fully sure what her vibe is meant
And
to be.
I don't think we mentioned that the big thing that she said after the May thing, after turning on May Sarah, was like, "This is pro wrestling. This isn't a place for friends," which is something that Julia said and kept saying when DDM
Yeah,
was dying. And I always found that really dumb because I was like, you do understand that your entire Stardom career has been like you with your four best friends beating the fuck out of literally everybody and ruining everybody else's lives. You haven't been a lone wolf since the beginning before you did anything.
yeah,
Everything you've done has been like contingent on you having friends around, whatever. I always found that annoying and dumb, and especially in a meta where there are factions and where you need to team with people.
Yes.
Unless like, and I that's why I kind of hate using that verbiage, and Suzu did, uh, because now I am kind of more like cognizant of that, and I'm just like, well, why are you why are you teaming with the rookies and being like, oh, it's okay, you lost? Like, no, like if you're supposed to be this hard ass lone wolf, then like be a hard ass lone wolf. Be
Yeah.
annoyed that they lost, at least. You know,
Or just do singles. Like they have enough
do
rookies that they
singles.
could do
I mean,
singles.
we talked about it off air that it's like you said she should just wrestle singles against all the rookies and beat the fuck out of them, and then like recruit Akira as like her little, you know,
Henchman.
apprentice type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that works because then it's like, oh, so Suzu, like this, like Akira isn't Suzu's friend, she's her weapon type of thing.
Yeah.
Just like her associate type of thing. That works. But what we're doing at this exact moment doesn't work for me yet. And her
Yeah,
not
no, I
having
agree.
a Yokohama show match yet makes it feel like it might take a
I have
while.
to imagine they're waiting until she gets a stablemate for that. I imagine that would be her and her faction mate against Mei and Miyu, probably.
I mean, they
They
have
have
to
to
do that
wait.
this weekend, don't they? What? Hold on,
Possibly.
what's the Osaka show? Go on.
Um,
I was talking to
what
the
if she
website.
just waits and loses to Masha and then asks Masha to team with her or something? Maybe we can get Masha on there as well.
Masha's the TNA World Champion,
So, does TNA even run
so
anymore?
she's yes, unfortunately.
I
Um,
think she could show up for one date in Japan.
Suzu is in a three-way against Yuna Mizumori and Hanako. So
Wow.
she's not making moves in
Okay.
Osaka, at least, probably. Now that I
Maybe.
said that, I'll be wrong. Like
Oh
she
yeah,
will.
she'll just do it just because.
Yeah.
Um anyway, Fuki and Death beat Ane Kanaya and Mei Sarah in a three-way. This went 6 minutes and Fukigen pinned Ane.
Yeah, it was all
Good
right.
stuff. Hanan, Hazuki, Koguma, and Momokogo beat Natsuko Tora, Raka, Rina, and Azusa Inaba. Hanan pinned Azusa in just under 10 minutes with the blockbuster hold. Um, Mayu, Italian Saida beat Tomoki Inaba and Rana Yagami. Mayu apparently won with a lariat in under 10 minutes. Maybe they meant to put Ida? Is that is Ida's finisher?
Yeah, Ida won. Ida won with the
Yeah,
lariat.
okay. We then had Mina Shirakawa's last match in Japan. It started as an EXV gauntlet, and then they did a few special matches. Um, so they did Mina, Micah in a 3-minute draw. She then beat Rian, the only person she beat in the entire thing. 3-minute draw with Waka, 3-minute draw with Hanako. Then 1 minute with Ida, Azumi, and Hanan. Then everybody beat the shit out of Mina for 5 minutes, and then Mina and Tam wrestled for 3 minutes to a draw. This was a very emotional kind of send off. Obviously, they did a lot of bits. There was a couple. There was a few bits of good wrestling. I mean, I thought the Rian Mina part was good.
Hmm.
But it was a lot of comedy. A lot of people just getting their stuff in, just kind of having fun with Mina for the last time, and it was nice to see. But you know, it was her goodbye.
Yeah. It was all right. For a farewell gauntlet, like I didn't think it was particularly special or
Yeah.
innovative, which is fine. Not everyone has to be. Uh, but yeah, it was all right. I found it fascinating the people who like didn't partake, like the
Yes.
baby faces, because obviously like Suzu wasn't gonna partake. She's just turned
Yeah.
heel. None of hate was gonna partake. But I was just like, where's Sayaka Carrara? Why isn't she here? Wait a minute. That's straight. Like what I mean? Like I was just like, that's a random person to not be here.
Yeah.
Or Mayu, like Mayu was the biggest. Like she was the only top baby face in the company that was just like, ah.
It's almost like she thought Mina sucks.
Yeah, it's almost like
Told her to her face.
she very famously told me that she should retire because she sucked so bad. Um, yeah, no, I don't know. It was small things like that I found interesting, but also I thought there was some fun stuff in it as well.
Yes, Hanan being, like, way too happy to do some
Oh
dancing,
yeah,
'cause I just
Hana
remembered
doing the entire dance. It was crazy.
yeah, she was briefly super sexy Stardom Machine, wasn't she?
Yes.
Or like, yeah, Stardom Machine number 2 or something, and she
Or
was
no,
doing the
wait.
dance.
No, that was Mariah, but she was Mariah's bestie.
Ah, yes, yeah, I knew there was something to do with that character.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, she was
Mariah
very
was
into the
trying
part.
to recruit her into Club Venus while she was there.
Yes. And then there was one part where Yuria, of all people, was getting her licks in on Mina when everybody was just beating on her. And Yuria went to pin her during the 5 minutes, and Siri just like turns to the camera with the most like bland
What the
facial
fuck is she
expression of all
doing?
time. Like, what? It was like, what? I paused and had to go back. She literally was just so surprised that Yuria tried to get a pin off of Mina. It was incredible. Yeah, that was that. It was a nice send off. Um, the next match was Azumi and Miyazaki beating Saya Kamitani and Konami. Azumi beat the world champion Saya in 10.5 minutes with Izumi Zushi. No
And
idea what
nobody
that's leading
said a
to.
word.
Yeah,
Like,
no
what the
idea
fuck?
what's
What
happening.
is
It would be
happening?
really, really funny though if Azumi challenged and lost 3 title matches in the space of like 2 months. So I'm kind of
The
hoping
first
that's
6
where we
months of the
go.
year features her losing, what, 4 or 5 title matches? Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
She lost
Get the gauntlet.
IWGP. She will have lost, like, every singles title match she could challenge out of. That's what will have happened.
Yes. Um,
Hmm.
then we had the main event,
That's
which
not
was
happening, by the way. I don't know why they did
No,
that,
it's
but
not. No.
because we're way too far out. Like, that's not something they would just be like, "Oh, yeah, remember when I pinned you before I lost
Uh,
these past 4
I don't
matches?"
know. I think Saya Kamitani would definitely be into that kind of storytelling.
I think Saya versus Azumi is a good title match, a good red belt, like, definitely a good patter.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think that would have worked if Azumi wasn't challenging for the all for at Yoko. You know what I mean?
I think she could lose for all of them anyway, because they don't fully care. But we'll
Well, they
see.
should.
Tam Nakano, Siriano, and Unagi Sayaka beat Yuna Mizumori, Aya Sakura, and Sayaka Kurara. Tam pinned Unimon in 20 minutes with the Violet Screwdriver. This is another pretty good match. There's a lot of really good stuff in it. Unagi fits Stardom like a glove.
Yeah,
Like
she
her
should
and
come back.
Unimon, she was just booting the shit out of Unimon, and I was like, if I was Stardom, I'm offering her a contract the second she walks
She
backstage.
really
Like
should come
she
back
just
because she looks bad next to, like, a lot of freelancers. Like, she just doesn't look like she, like, fits in a lot of ways, but she does fit the Stardom style. And
yeah,
I'm not even saying she looks bad compared to other freelancers because she is inherently a bad wrestler. It's just like I feel like she her development was all to become a better Stardom wrestler, and she
yeah,
hasn't developed past that. Like, she
agreed.
hasn't developed to be a better freelancer, or booker, just, frankly. Uh, so she should probably go back home.
Yeah, no,
And she
I
would be
would
treated
agree.
like a fucking $1,000,000. I mean, Tam's leaving,
Oh yeah, dude. Like
and
she's
Mayu's
she might
maybe
just replace
leaving.
Mina in the number 2 spot to EXV. Like she
That'd
would
be
be
really
that
funny.
tier immediately.
But yes,
Um,
I don't know, when you look at it, the Mayu's, even if Mayu doesn't leave, I don't think she cares as much anymore. But she really did not like Unagi back in the day.
yeah,
Like, I mean, like there are cases like that where it's like, uh, even if Mayu is sticking it out, for the rest of her career, I don't think she really has much
I
sway
think Tam
to
has
be
out
like,
politics her anyway.
yeah,
Tam would be
exactly.
like,
Tam
"Get it done,
Tam
guys.
Tam can
Let's get
leave
it
and be
done."
like, "Hey, take care of Unagi for me,"
Yeah,
and they will. Like, I think that Unagi has a pretty bright future if she decided to go back to Stardom.
I would agree. It was after this then that the original Cosmic Angels got together to do the dance one last time. Emotions were had, and that was us sent home.
That that was indeed,
Is it?
like, that was the moment that was like, wow,
Yes.
wow,
Sam's really
really,
fucking retiring.
yeah.
That's insane.
That's what I mean.
Tam
That's
Nakano
that's
is
where I was like,
retiring.
holy fuck,
Dude, what the hell? All right. Well,
good riddance. It was the time of your life.
let's see. That was the results. Now, there's a lot to preview. and a lot of it's just nothing. So we're just gonna fly through
All of it's
this.
slop. I'm gonna be real.
Yes, it is 4 house shows, and they are in Osaka, Nagoya, and Chunichi. So no, not Chunichi, Hamamatsu.
Four house
This is
shows,
Marigold. I
three
would be like,
three of
we're
which
not we're pretending this doesn't exist. So Stardom is getting similar.
three of which do not include FWC, and all four of which don't include Azumi. Um,
Yeah, Suri Ano is also missing some of them. So
yeah,
it's
it's just not.
like it's rough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kid's back though. Natsuko's back.
yeah. This strange kid is back already, but gotta get reps, I guess. Anyway, we start on April 10th in Stardom in Osaka in Edion Osaka Arena number 2. Mayu, Hanan, Saida, and Momokogo take on Koguma, Hazuki, Akira, and Yuria. It's gonna be one of the rookies taking a fall.
This is
Um,
foreshadowing. FWC is going to
yes.
join up with Suzu and the rookies.
Oh my goodness, Hazuki probably could. That's kind of been her mo.
Yeah,
Tomoki Inaba and Rani Yagami continue to be a tag team, just with not a lot of success, but they take on Sayaka Kurara and Ane Kanaya,
that's
so
a
they
win for
probably
them.
will win for
Yeah,
once. That's pretty beast. Mio Masaki, Meisera, and Tabata take on Konami, Azusa Inaba, and Fukigen Def.
Tabata's still here.
Tabata's just here now. She's on a
She's
TJPW show too,
yeah. I was
so
gonna say like
yeah,
she's just. I guess Stardom's just the only ones that were like, yeah, we'll book you every week, but
yeah.
like she's in Japan. In Japan.
That's what I remember when she was first announced. I was like, "Isn't she based in Japan?" And somebody was like, "No, I don't think so," but she just is. So
She might
maybe they
be.
announced it sometime. Yeah. Siri and Lady C take on Natsuko Tora and Rina. That's whatever, I guess. Sure. Um, Hate not being on the Yokohama Arena card at all, outside of like 2
That's what
spots,
I
is really
mean.
strange.
Like
But that's
so
kind
much
of
of this is
something.
odd.
Tora especially, because she like was in big matches the last 2 big events. But
Well, no,
just
if they do a
nothing
battle
more,
royal, Tora's probably winning it, type of thing.
possibly. She was a world champion last year. She's not in Yokohama Arena. That's like absurd
Alex,
to
the
think about it.
Cinderella tournament winner as of a month ago, is not in the
Yeah,
Yokohama
but
Arena
they
show.
did like they did a they did the Europa Conference League version of the Cinderella. Like that. It's like a third tier tournament. It's not the big one. It's kind of like down there. You're gonna celebrate if you win, but you don't
On
aim
par with
for it.
like the Goddess League, yeah.
It's like
Um,
winning the NBA Cup, but not the NBA title. Like that is exactly what Sakura Carrara did. She stat padded the NBA Cup. So I don't know. Um,
where did we go wrong with that one?
I don't know. But anyway, Suzu Suzuki versus Yuna Mizumori versus Hanako. Suzu should probably win, but God knows they like Hanako too much. That she probably won't. Maika, Wakasuyama, and Rian take on Suri Ano, Natsupoi, and Aya Sakura. That's probably a win for Cosmic Angels because Rian never really wins.
I do not like this card.
Saya Kamitani and Ruaka take on Tam Nakano and Starlight Kid. I think that's a pretty good match if Kid has a functioning arm. Because her and Ruaka will probably pair off, which is cool.
Mm.
But who's to
The match
say?
that should have been the Yokohama Arena match.
Hell yeah. We then have Stardom and Sakai. Day 1 on the 11th of April. It is Yuna Mizumori and Sayaka Kurara versus Rina and Fukigen Def. Fukigen over Unimon. They seem to have given up
I
on
don't know.
Unimon wanting the high speed belt because she lost and then has lost
Yeah,
ever
I mean
since.
Unimon could beat Fukigen and be like, I finally did it. It's time for the belt. Like that could
Yeah,
happen.
I
Um,
doubt.
but yeah, I mean the
I'm not
Cinderella
sure.
tournament winner doesn't win matches, so I'm gonna go with Fukigen.
Yeah. Wakasuyama and Rian versus Lady C and Ane Kanaya. Um,
Mm,
Rian over Ane.
uh,
Yeah.
Rihanna hasn't pinned anybody yet.
Oh, then Lady C over Rian.
I don't know. Maybe walk over Anna. Ane.
Yeah, would be. Starlight Kid, Mei Sarah, and Miyu Masaki versus Suzu Suzuki, Akira, and Yuria.
Holy
Uh,
fuck, we're doing something!
Neo Genesis is gonna win. I
Ah!
bet it's by like DQ or something silly.
Oh my god. I'm just happy we're doing something.
Yeah. We have a special singles match:
In
Hanako versus
Sakai.
Tabata. Wait, how are you
Oh,
feeling about Hanukkah versus Tabata?
not good.
That's great.
I like
Um,
Tabata, but I don't
yeah,
think that's gonna work.
we have Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, Siriano, and Aya Sakura versus Natsuko Tora, Konami, Ruaka, and Azusa. That's probably a win for Cosmic Angels.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. We
that's
have a
fine.
golden
It's a fine shit.
generation clash. Saya Kamitani versus Micah versus
What's left of it?
Saya Ida. Because they remembered that they have to tease Saya retiring. They can't just
Yeah,
only tease Tam. They do have to tease Saya. So they're doing this a golden generation three-way. And I would imagine Micah might win that one over like Ida. And that will keep her in the title picture.
I think Ida should beat Saya.
Of course you do, but she won't.
Hmm.
Um, then our main event is Hanan, Mayu Utani, and Momokogo versus Siri, Tomoka Inaba, and Rana Yagami.
All right.
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Probably some Siri over Kogo.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We then have Stardom and Sakai Day 2 on April 12th. We start with Starlight Kid, Mei Sarah, and Tabitha versus Waka Skama, Rian, and Ane. It's an obvious win for Neo Genesis. Um,
Uh, yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah, we have a three-way match: Lady C versus Akira versus Rina. Fun
Arena.
times. Micah and Hanako versus Suzuki and Yuria. That is a win for the Drunken Kings, or whatever you call them these days.
Up high mate
Yeah,
or high mate.
Drunk
That's right.
Kingdom is better. I'm just gonna keep
Drunken
going with that.
Kingdom. I do like that. Yeah.
Then Saida and Momokogo versus Yuna Mizumori and Sakakurara versus Azusa Inaba and Fukigen Death. Do you think Fukigen will just beat Unimon continuously on this tour?
I think you want that to happen. I think
It
I think
would. It would
you're
just be
I think you're
funny.
at the point that like, there are five house shows before everybody
Yeah.
travels to America for a week and then a Korakuen and then Queendom. Like
Yeah.
that is what this is all that is in our way. I think you just want the dumbest shit here to
Oh,
happen.
dude, like I could
Like
not
just
care about the
anything.
details.
Yeah,
I'd still
just
have
like
to give that shit.
at this point, just like bring a clown. Where's Gigaton
Yeah.
when you need her? You know what I mean? Like let's just just do something. Like just
Yeah.
anything of
Um,
interest.
we do have an intra
Why did
God's
they
Eye
book
match
5
next.
of these?
I
Why
don't
did
know,
they
but
well,
we have
4. There's 4.
intra God's Eye, Siri and Rani Agami versus Hina and Tomoka Inaba. That's fun. That's gonna go to a draw, but it's fun.
It's not going to a draw.
Yeah, it is.
I think Rana gets one over Hina.
Okay. Mayu Iwatani and Hanan
Or
versus
Shuri just beats Tomoko, like she could do that.
that's true. Mayu and Hanan versus Natsuko Tora and Ruaka. Oh, BMI
Ooh.
2000 back together again against Eye
Eye
Contact.
contact?
Whoa, that's cool. I like that.
Wait
I
a
don't know
second.
what.
Nothing.
Okay. Anyway, Stars win. Mayu over Ruaka.
Yes.
Okay. Tam Nakano and Natsupoi for the last possible Meltier match ever as they take on Saya and Konami.
For the
Whoa,
last
that might be the last time we see Meltier together.
yeah, but that also might be the last time we see fuck QQ ever. Team
Oh
fuck
shit,
QQ.
yeah, yeah. Whoa.
Team
Okay.
fucking QQ. If you
Um, we then have on April 13th Stardom and Hamamatsu, Yuna Mizumori and Ane Kanaya versus Hanako and Yuria. That is, Hanako's gonna win.
this has a card? Oh, I didn't realize this
Yes.
one had a card. Okay, let me get to it.
S- Okay. Starlight
I
Kid and
like having visual
Tabata.
aids.
That is fair. Starlight Kid and Tabata versus Natsupoi and Aya Sakura. That's probably a win for Aya over Tabata.
Could be. I could see it.
Yeah. Momoko and Saida versus Raka and Rina. That might be the first hate win of this tour, outside of whatever Saya Kamitani is doing.
Yeah, I could see Rena over Momokogo. Or
Yeah.
Raka for over Momokogo for that matter.
This is a match they might just run back at Yokohama. It is Mei Seira and Mio Masaki versus Suzu Suzuki and Akira.
This is literally
Um,
the match that you said should happen.
yeah, they must have put it into my brain. But yeah, I would imagine Suzu might win that one. She might finally get a win. Like pin Miyu or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love it if they did something here.
Yeah. Be cool.
Like this the again, not to like I feel like everybody gets on us about for being overly critical or just generally, haters so to speak. But I would really love for them to tell a story over these 4 days of like Suzu whipping the rooks into shape, especially Akira.
Mm.
Um and maybe climaxing that with them finally getting a win here. Not Akira over one of these two, but Akira helping, like being a active helping hand to Suzu in her war against Neo Genesis. I think that would be cool. But I might be expecting too much for Hamamatsu.
Possibly. Think so.
Mm.
Um, we then have Maika, Wakayama, and Rian versus Saya Kamitani, Natsuko Tora, and Konami. Oh, whoa, Saya and Tam not in the same match. Whoa. Um, yeah, Kamitani's squad is gonna win.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
this is the hate strikes back Hamamatsu.
yeah.
That's what this.
We have another intra faction match. Suri and Hina take on Ronnie Agami and Lady C. It's gonna be Suri over Lady C.
Hmm.
And then
They
just
are. Go on, go on, go on.
oh yeah, go ahead.
No, it doesn't matter.
All right.
We're running
Just
low on time.
yeah, no. Just so you know, Tam is retiring. It is her and Sakakura versus Mayu and Hanan. Probably our last time
Does
chance to see
Tam finally
Tam and
get
Mayu.
her pinfall victory over Mayu Iwatani?
Hell no.
Yeah, no.
All right, and that is Stardom. With that, we are on to Marigold. We're gonna just fly through this possibly. Let's see. Marigold wrestlers outside of Marigold, they are actually up to something. On the Marvelous show on the 10th, Victoria Yuzuki and Hummingbird are taking on Ai Hozan and Riko Kawahata as part of the
Mhm.
war. That's going to
Hummingbird
be
was supposed to
basically
be Yuki Minami, but Yuki Minami has like a
concert or
idol
something.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so she can't. But yeah, I mean, Hummingbird is probably going to take a loss to Riko there, and they get things humming.
Rico or Hozen. Hozen wants a Superfly match, so I could see them granting
Nagayo
that.
hates Ai Hozan. I
Yeah, so she
don't
could
think that
lose to
girl is ever winning.
Victoria Zuki so easily.
Yeah, but she's not winning a tag.
She can
I
win a tag.
I
I
don't
mean,
I
yeah,
don't think
Rico
you
probably wins the tag.
understand how in the mud that girl is. But yeah. Um, and then I don't think there's any news from. Oh wait, there is news from Marigold. Obviously, Bozilla is going home. Uh, they
Oh
announced
yeah.
that Bozilla is finishing up early on the 12th of April. Her last show was this week. They said it's due to a family illness, but she hasn't been pulled from any of her Vegas dates, so I have no idea. Um, I felt really old because people in our circle were like, "Oh, I hope everything is okay," and I was like, "Did Rossi send her home?" Because Rossi used to always say family problems when he sent people home from a tour.
And didn't
Most
feel
notably,
like
Sadie
giving a
Gibbs.
well no,
He
Sadie
sent
Gibbs,
Sadie.
her grandpa actually died.
I think that was like a week later, though. People were saying because she got into arguments with Will Ospreay over her tour for like 2 weeks,
Yes.
and
So
somebody
so
actually
what
did die.
yeah, what happened as far as I remember. This is the old book. Um she according to sources such as B Priestley and Mayu Iwatani, uh kind of sucked and she was like a drama queen or whatever. Um
Mhm.
and she just didn't have quote unquote good dojo etiquette. Um so yeah, so either she started complaining about wanting to go home because her relative was sick, or they sent her home and then they sent her home because they were sick of her, or they were just like, "Oh yeah, go home because your relative's sick. We don't really need you. We don't really like you."
Yeah.
Um, that's
Um, he also
that's
did it
how
for
memory
Isla
serves.
Dawn. He did it for Britt Baker. I don't know if he did it for Tessa. I want to
Might
say
have done it
Tessa
for
was sent home though.
was Steph sent home, or did they just
I
get
think
did they just
Stephanie
not like
was
each
sent
other?
home. Yeah.
Yeah, Steph
But
Ashley.
either way, like historically, Rossi Promotions have used the family line as an excuse for him just sending them home, and I think it's very possible that with the Utami match done, he wasn't really bothered booking her for another month when he had no end goal.
Especially
So he
since
just
she's
was like,
leaving
"Go home."
for the
Yeah.
like she's going to America. He's probably just like, yeah, you could just.
Yeah, because she's taking indie dates in America. Like I remember, I thought she was extending in Japan because she was looking for a U.S. visa to like work part time, but I think she's just gonna work America.
She's winning
More
that
than anything.
WID title, baby.
I don't think so, but who knows? But yeah, that is Bozilla going home early. That was kind of the main news that hit Marigold. We have two shows to review. I
Mhm.
want to say if I can get them up in time.
I watched one and
Um,
a half of them.
that is fair. I think I watched less, but it's fine. Cage Natch Marigold.
Natch?
Results. Yeah,
That's the
I
wrong
I
word.
typed it wrong. This it's I'm on the clock. So on the 5th of April, Marigold ran the KBS Hall. We opened with Hummingbird beating Nagisa Tachibana and Riara.
Very
Is that
quickly, they are
definitely what
running
happened?
KBS Hall way too frequently because
Yeah,
those crowds are not staying up.
no. This was possibly the funniest match ever because Hummingbird did nothing, and I said to you and the guys, I was like, Hummingbird does even less, and you were all like, no, there's no way, and then you
No,
all
no,
watched
I
the
didn't
match
say no. I
while I
said,
was
yeah, that's what it's all about. And
no, no,
then,
because none of you
yeah,
believed me, and then you all watched the
we
match and went,
believed you.
okay, yeah, she did nothing, she does less. Um,
Did love
Hummingbird,
that sell on Riara's really bad cutter.
dude, that was so
Uh,
funny.
it was
She just
so
stood up
good.
and fell back on a
She
corner.
like, dude, not even a cutter. Like Riara like barely was touching her, but it was like meant
Yeah,
to be a cutter because
it was a
Riara didn't do
bulldog
well here
cutter.
either. It was like not a good cutter at all. And so Riara just, or not Riara, Hummingbird
Hummingbird.
just threw herself at the ground, jumped up, stood up, and then jumped backwards.
And then
It
she
was
won.
insane.
She won the
And then
match.
she won.
She rolled with Tachibana and won.
She got that euro, yeah.
Oh, dude.
She's I like it's got to be the point. Like obviously, like I don't know. I think she's leaning way too heavily on something that like is funny and like works, but to the point where it's like you can't watch her.
I have no idea. I just
She's not watchable.
how is this Catman's Calico? How did she have that
Yeah,
insane gauntlet a year ago and now does not do wrestling moves? Like
like
I'm just
okay,
so baffled.
so obviously again, like Hummingbird's gimmick is that she uses her evasion to win matches. She doesn't use moves as much as she uses like her wits, her cat-like reflexes and her wits. Um, but she doesn't even do enough to warrant that. Like
No.
it's so she does so little. I mean, I made that picture that says what does she even do? Cuz I'm genuinely asking.
Yeah.
If you
That's
ask me
something.
what's a hummingbird move, name two hummingbird moves, I would say the
Dude,
Euro
I have no
clutch
idea.
and that one Hurricane Rana where she brained herself on the Korakuen floor.
Yes.
Those are her two moves, and she doesn't do one of them anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Remember she threw
like,
a
I
head
don't know.
kick in her first match and has never done that since?
No, she did. She threw a head kick after the match. Here, she threw a head kick after the
Oh, of
match
course. Yeah. Why
because
why would you do it during the match?
Tachibana got all upset and started going after her, and she pushed her and head kicked her, and I was like, there's a move. She did
That's
a move.
absurd. That's crazy. Um, Natsumi
Tachibana
Suzuki
looked
and
good. Tachibana
yeah, I
looked
was
good.
gonna say that on the next. Tachibana has done that weird Joshi thing where she got injured right after debuting, and it somehow made her a better wrestler.
I was hoping that's
Um,
what would happen with Hummingbird, but it did not.
yeah, no, it didn't. But it happens sometimes. These rookies get injured, and then they're like, "Okay, I'm locking in now." And you're like, "Okay,
Yeah,
sure." 'Cause she looked the most comfortable in the ring of any of the three wrestlers here,
yeah.
despite the
She is the
experience.
most athletic. Well, not the most athletic, but she's very athletic.
Yeah,
She
mm,
has
she's
she has good footwork and whatnot. But yeah,
Natsumi Suzuki and Rei Seto beat Kazuna Tanaka and Ryoko Sakamura in just under 10 minutes. I was not subjecting myself to that one as much as I love
uh,
Ryoko Sakamura, but no.
that's so funny because she was the only one who didn't do anything interesting here.
Yeah, no, so I made a good choice.
Kazuna and Rhea work super well against and with each other.
Hmm.
And Shizuki did well against Kazuna as well.
Okay, that's good.
It wasn't anything like special, but yeah.
Let's see. Sari Yamioka beat Minami Yuki in just under 7 minutes. This was on course to being perfection, and then Minami Yuki got offense. But it was still pretty great. Like the way Seri was just so nonchalant about like rolling this woman into a tumbleweed was pretty incredible. Um, and yeah, if they just did less Minami
What do you know about
offense,
the
I feel
gator?
like
What do you know
she,
about the gator roll, huh?
yeah, I feel like she just should have eaten Yuki Minami alive instead of giving her the comeback. But it is what it is.
Yeah, that's a comeback should have been cut off a bit
Yeah,
more promptly. It wasn't long. Like it wasn't like she
no, but it was still
was
too
doing it
much.
for a while. Yeah, I agree. Because yeah, otherwise I thought Sari looked very good. Um,
Yeah.
though the match was just fine.
All
I
right.
thought that Sari definitely looked good.
Um, Chiaki and Misa Matsui beat Chikugoto and Miku Iono in 13 minutes when Matsui got the pinfall over Goto with was it the 5-star clutch? Is that what they call it? Was that the
I don't think
next
she
show?
does. She do the 5-star clutch?
She does something akin to a 5-star clutch. She gets her legs
Yeah,
over your arms and
I
then
think
makes you roll up.
is that like a half euro? Because okay, so the 5-star
Don't
clutch
know.
is you doing like a scissors, and flipping them back. It doesn't matter.
I didn't
None of this
think that
matters.
was it, but anyway, yeah,
Because
that's fine.
the 5-star clutch
She
was
did a
was
roll up
was
thingy where they
yes.
they offer their legs up and then she traps your legs, yeah, under the hands or over the hands. Anyway, this is a good match. Chika
Yeah.
Goto works really well with this Darkness Revolution crew, like playing off them. And I
Oh yeah,
think
totally.
Chiaki's best stuff is with Iono. She looks so comfortable with Miko Iono every
Dude,
time.
I was so happy with Chiaki in this match. Not because
Yeah,
she did anything like great, but just because she just looked so fluid.
she
Everything
did.
was like connecting. She was hitting hard, and I was just like, yes, yes, more of this, yes. And I think I just love Misa and Chiaki as a team. I think
They're
they
good.
as
I think they
as
should
much as
win the Twin Stars
I
because
agree.
Chika Goto feuding with them seems like the most logical thing post Nanai.
Mm,
So I
I
would
agree.
genuinely have them beat Nanai and Seri.
Because I think as much as I loved Dark Wolf Army with Chiaki and Nagisa, I do think that this allows both Misa and Chiaki to shine a bit more. Whereas
Yeah.
I think the Dark Wolf Army was more like giving uh, Nozaki something to do, and her
Hmm.
kind of taking the taking the reins with it. I feel like this is a bit more even, and I think they both kind of get to be creative in the ring with each other a bit more than Chiaki was even with Nozaki, despite me loving that team as well. So yeah, I really love this team, and I think they should win the tag belts as well. I also think that like it would make sense and it would put them over well because Nanai was like, yeah, I don't care about y'all. I don't
Hmm.
wanna I don't want to face y'all. Like y'all don't need all this. I'm retiring, man. I think that would be like a good like oh, would you look at that? Like we proved you wrong, you asshole. Passion. Like I think that
Yeah.
works. I think that's a smart way to do it. And they could
It
cheat.
would be fun. Yeah, that
I
too.
don't.
You can cheat.
It would be hard to it. That's the other problem is it's hard to pin Sari or Nanai. Um,
That's true. Somebody should do it
like
though. Somebody has to pin Seri eventually. So
yes. I mean, but has Sari been pinned since Mirai?
Mirai, no, she literally has not lost.
I fear that Misa is not going to be the first to do it.
Well, they need a new leader for Darkness Revolution. So unless it's Nozaki, which it doesn't look like, they're gonna have to elevate Misa Matsui.
Hmm.
And she was the one doing the Saya Kamitani voice, so I do
Oh my
think
god,
they
she's
see a
not doing the
future
fucking Saya Kamitani voice. She just
in
talks like
her
that. You
as
don't know
their
how
answer
Japanese women
to
talk
Kamitani.
somehow. You watch so much Joshi wrestling, you
She did
don't
the
know how
face
people
as
talk.
well. It's fine. It's just she did it anyway. That was that one. Cool match. Mirai versus Nanae Takahashi went to a 15-minute time limit draw. This was good. They did a lot of grappling, then elevated, then went back to grappling. Then the last minute was like
I didn't go
the
back to
kind of
like
Mirai
whatever.
Nanai stuff that you'd expect with a headbutt and some crazy spots. But it generally they did just kind of take it easy, which you kind of expect from in the KBS hall. It's fine.
Yeah, and like there wasn't much reason for this match, frankly. Like this wasn't even though it would like it wasn't like Nanai trying to get something on Mirai. Mirai already has it, if you will.
Hmm.
So it was just them kind of getting to do a match,
Yeah,
which
no,
usually
that's it.
translates to a match like this, and it was good. Like I really liked it, but damn,
Yeah, Sorry.
No, you're good. Uh, I liked it, but yeah, I get what you mean in that it didn't really have much reason to exist. It was just
Mhm.
a good match, you know.
All right. Chanyota, Mai Sakurai, Utami Hayashishita, and Victoria Yuzuki beat Bozilla, Megaton, Nagisa Nozaki, and Gigaton in 16 minutes. I didn't watch this. I'm
I
over
did.
that rev tags.
I liked it.
Cool.
Uh, Chanyota and Gigaton did some solid work. Chanyota and Bozilla did better work. That was awesome. That
You
was an
know,
awesome
I didn't
pair.
even internalize that that would have happened. Otherwise, I would have watched it.
They did
But
Chanyota versus Bozilla into Utami versus Bozilla, which they are great in tags. Like
mm,
they do the cool meaty stuff still, even though Bozilla kind of moved away from that. So yeah, that was great. Like I really like Chanyota and Utami versus Bozilla a lot. Uh,
okay,
yeah, no, I thought it was a good match, but it wasn't anything insane.
that's all
And
right.
oh yeah, I'm sorry. I know we talk about Gigaton too much, but I really quickly
Oh
I came to the realization last week after the show. And
my.
I said this to you and you didn't understand the reference. Stop me if I said this last week because I said it to somebody. I don't know if I said it on air and I apologize. Um, Last week I mentioned that like Gigaton is a way to protect now because
Yeah.
Gigaton is going to lose a bunch, right? I was trying to remember what the precedent for that was, like where I thought of that as a where I heard that being done as a tactic. Um, it was the origin story of El Generico.
Oh, yes, you
Sa-
did mention that.
yeah, Sami Zayn didn't want uh Stevie McFly or whatever his original indie name was. He didn't want him to take losses, and a company wanted to book him as a jobber. So he was like, I will wear a mask and it will be a different gimmick so that I don't incur like I don't feel lame and like a loser as
Yeah.
my normal gimmick. So that's why I think Gigaton is. I fear, but hopefully she doesn't spend 15 years of her career as Gigaton like El Generico. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Not 15, it was like 10, but still.
All right. The next show was on the 6th of April. This was in the Kobe Sambo Hall in front of an announced attendance of 253. I'm not sure I buy that. But anyway, Megaton beat Nagisa Nozaki in
It
five
was
and
at
a half
least 400.
minutes to open the show. Yeah,
I
Megaton,
didn't watch the undercard.
Megaton in what looked like a parking lot wrestling Nagisa Tachibana was certainly an experience. That's all I can say. Chika Goto beat Riara in 5 minutes.
Imagine watching that while you were like on acid or something.
Yeah. I mean, it
Wouldn't that
felt
be
like
like a
it when I
fun?
was watching them wrestle. I was like, "What is happening?" Um,
Oh man.
Hummingbird and Manami Yuki beat Natsumi Shizuki and Ryoko Sakamura in 7 minutes. They really like Hummingbird. That's all I can take
Fuck
away.
yeah! One day she'll
Um,
do something.
are we sure she's actually losing the Marvelous tag? They like her a
She's
lot.
beating Ihozan.
Dude, they're gonna pin Rico or something. This is gonna be insane.
They cannot. They are not
They
allowed.
might. They might. Anyway, Chiaki Misamatsu beat Kazuna Tanaka and Rhea Seto in 10 minutes. I thought they would do a partner
I
miscommunication
like
spot,
this.
but they didn't. They were just like,
No,
Kazuna, you were taking an L. You
Kazuna
stink.
and Seto just worked very well together. Like
Yeah.
funnily enough, they did the JoJo pose. They did the twin Fujiwaras.
Yeah.
Uh, they worked well together
And
here, and I
Kazuna
found that
simply
very
lost.
funny because they're beefing otherwise. But yeah, Kazuna just lost. But Misa is on the way up, so it's fine.
She is. Um, then we had Mirai and Seri Yamaoka versus Tami Hashishita and Victoria Yuzuki going to a 15-minute time limit draw. This was so good. This was a really, really good
Rah.
tag match.
Yeah.
Yuzuki and Seri are a match made in wrestling heaven. Just in a
Well, I think
similar
that's
way
the
to
thing. I think
Utami and Seri.
all of them. Yeah, I was gonna say all of them are just perfect for each other. Utami's great against Sari in a Mayu versus Utami way, like a
Yeah,
disregarding way almost. Izuki and Sari are great because they're like natural rivals, and
hmm
Utami and Mirai are great because they're both very like
talented.
yeah,
They're great
very
wrestlers.
good wrestlers who
Yeah.
have like stylistic uh, you know, weaknesses that the other can exploit very well and like that like it all just works to
hmm
make a great two great pairings, and also Yuzuki and Utami are a great tag team. Like they
Yeah,
very quickly have found a something that really clicks together, and yeah, just really really good stuff. Sorry for interrupting, but it
it's
just
alright.
all worked.
Seri hit a spear on Yuzuki that was the most perfect spear I've ever seen because Yuzuki was like halfway through doing a move and Seri just kind of did it, and it was like, okay,
Mm.
that is a spear. Like that is a really good maneuver. Um,
What a maneuver!
yeah, like
Oops,
this was just
wrong
a
guy.
really strong match. The Germans down the stretch were crazy. Seri Yamaoka might kill Utami someday, and it will be glorious. But yeah, I did not think Saria Miyoko would be this good at everything after 3 months, but she is, like, insane, you know?
All she needs is to like stay healthy.
Yeah. I
That
like
is
that she's
her
changed her
main thing.
hair too. She's, like, keeping the hair up, which fits the shooter vibe a lot better than when she had it
Mm.
down. Like, I think just tying it up works a lot better for what she's going for. So,
To be
she's
fair,
making strides everywhere.
she's growing out her hair. So she didn't I think the early stuff was just her being like, "Oh, I don't have to tie it up yet because it's short hair." And it
Possibly.
was just in that weird in between phase where, tying it up wouldn't make sense. But yeah, I thought it was a very, very good match.
Alright. Then we had Chanyoda, Mai Sakurai, and Mikoyano beating Bozilla, Nagisa Nozaki, and Gigaton in 15 minutes. So yeah,
I didn't get to watch this.
that is fair. I would not have
I'll
either.
I'll probably watch it in like 10 minutes when we're done.
Okay. Now we have shows to preview. The first is Marigold Spring Victory Series 2025. This has Ryoko Sakamura versus Riara versus Nagisa Tachibana. This would be an interesting insight into who they like more. Probably even Tachibana, honestly. I think they might like Tachibana more than Riara.
They probably wait, then Riara?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, actually we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, because I don't like Riara.
Yeah, that's true. Gigaton and Megaton take on Chikagoto and Yuki Minami. Chikagoto's probably gonna win, maybe. Who
um
cares?
oh wait, that's wrong. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh wait, what am I talking about? Yes, the tons don't win matches.
yeah.
Knock
No,
on
they
wood.
don't.
For an
Utami
entire point.
and Kizuna Tanaka versus Mirai and Seri Yamioka. That is a win over Kizuna for one of them. That
Um,
is interesting.
yes. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Mariah
because
and
this
Sari
isn't
is a
Shinkiba
very
first
good team.
ring too. This is the whole Majoshi. So we gotta
Yeah.
go hard. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I want to see how
I'm
Kazuna
just
keeps up because she's been
I
doing
yeah.
well since the injury. Well, since the return, basically. The Nozaki match was rough, but everything after that, I think she's been a delight. So we'll see how
I
she does.
agree.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
but I like Kazuna versus both of these actually. I'm interested in the Mariah pairing because that will work,
Yeah.
obviously. Um,
Less
I
certain
think
on
Kazuna.
Sari, but who knows?
Yeah, but I also think that's like interesting. You know what I mean? Like even if
To a
it
degree.
even if it does kind of messy, I'm interested in it. But yeah, I mean Mirai's because I said it when she came back, Kazuna's kind of like a non-power Mirai.
Yeah.
So I think like they are an interesting pairing inherently.
I forgot my Sakurai is just injured. 'Cause-
Yeah, it's devastating.
Um, we then have Superfly Championship. Victoria Yuzuki defends against Rei Seto, and that is going to be a defense for Yuzuki, but that's a nice chance for Rhea to kind of show what she can do.
I hope that they don't try to do too super fly of a match.
No, they won't. I
Um,
don't think they care anymore. I think
yeah,
Yuzuki's just like, let's get our shit in.
because Rhea and Misa did like a high speed opening on
Oof.
the Kobe show, and it wasn't very good. Like Rhea, like that's just not what Rhea does.
No.
So I hope that they don't try to do like I hope if they try, it's Yuzuki running circles around her and
Hmm.
Rhea finding ways out of it instead of Rhea keeping up but not really keeping up.
Yeah, I getcha. The main event then is the Bozilla send off. It is Bozilla, Chiaki, Misumatsui, and Nagisa Nozaki versus Miko Aono, Natsumi Shizuki, Hummingbird, and Arina Yamanaka, making her
The dream
return.
match, Bozilla versus Hummingbird. We are getting it.
I
I'm not
hope
even joking. I think that
no, I
Bozilla
know.
should like toss her across the arena. Like that would be awesome. Not,
I
you know.
would either have Arena win or
Hmm.
I would have Iono go over Bozilla if she's willing to agree to that. I feel like you
Would
should
be
have
awesome.
Bozilla go out on her back. Iono would
I would
benefit
love if
most,
this
but
was like
also Arena would if she was joining.
I would love if this was like a elimination match or something, because I would
Oh
love to
yes,
see like a final standoff between Miku and Bozilla.
yeah,
To be fair, Miku's one of the like handful of people who have beaten Bozilla in
that's
her
true.
run, um,
See, I was
and
gonna say
clean,
Arena, but I don't think she would be given that unless she's signing.
and she's not as of
Not
now because she
no, she's still with
works
Best Buddy
elsewhere.
Japan.
Yes. So yeah, I would love to see Miku beat Bozilla, but
Hmm.
I could also just see Bozilla just beating Hummingbird and looking good on the way out.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Because
It's
the other problem is that this is as of right now, until this match ends, this is the Darkness Revolution top team, and this is not the Hantai top team. So it's like
yeah,
having
you can get
having
away
them
with it
lose,
though.
even if it is Miku over Bozilla, is kind of like it's not a great look.
Mm,
Um, but But I also think Bozilla should, put somebody over on her way out and another person,
I
and I
agree.
think that should be Miku again.
Okay, I agree. Well, we have one more show to do.
Wait,
But
we
let's
didn't. Wait.
what
What is wrong with us?
what
There was Marigold news.
what was it?
Jungle Kyona is back.
Oh yeah, dude, I totally forgot that. When
Like
did
that
that
was
even
like
happen?
that was on the Kyoto show. That was the post match for
Oh
Survivor
shit,
season 9.
yeah, that's true.
We suck. Holy fuck. Like that's like
Yeah.
I
Um,
I was thinking about, oh yeah, I get to talk about that later, like this morning,
I
and
knew
I
there was
just
something I was forgetting. It was one of those where I was like, there is something that happened that is escaping me. Yeah, so
well, that
Jungle
is the
Kyona,
end of the Marigold preview, to be fair. The next thing is
yeah.
unrelated,
So Jungle
technically.
Kyona asked Nanae for a one-off match as her comeback to pro wrestling, and it's on the Nagoya show on the 27th. I want to
Mm,
say.
yes.
Um,
Chinguchi.
so the verbiage was interesting because she was kind of like, "I want this match, and then I want to make a decision on my future." I don't see a world where Kiona comes back because she admit that her knee is so bad that they said modern medicine can't fix her, which is very worrying. Um, so I don't know if she does that match and announces her retirement for the Hana show, maybe, um,
Mm.
or if she announces, I don't know how she would do this, but she might want a part-time run with Marigold and to go out like that. But I think it's more likely that she does the exhibition with an eye because it is only 5 minutes. Um, and then she's like, okay, I'm calling it a day. But
I
I
think
don't know.
I think both are possible, frankly.
Yeah,
Like I can 100% see the idea being Jungle Kiona wrestles the 5 minutes, goes to a draw, because it's 5 minutes.
yeah,
Like even if you're broken down, I hope you could go 5 minutes, go to a draw. Um, and I think she could definitely say, okay, this is pretty much it. Like I'm gonna do maybe a couple more matches, and then retire either at the Honda show or at a Marigold show. Like it wouldn't be Nanai show, but like at Summer Destiny or
yeah,
whatever, do a couple of matches. Or she could be like, I am like my knee might be fucked, but I got a passion injection in it, and I am here, and I'm doing a proper comeback at Yoyogi.
yeah.
Let's go. Like I could see both of those happening. I don't think she ever comes back full time,
No,
like
no.
obviously. But I could definitely see her popping in every once in a while and like having a proper match at Yoyogi, then popping in every once in a while for, little things here and there. Because I'm pretty sure she's still a fire marshal or
Yes.
like a high
That
ranking
was why I
firefighter.
didn't think she could wrestle. Because last I heard, they have to help her into the truck. Like she cannot physically get into the trucks, and they
I
have to help her
That
in.
might have been a joke, a cruel joke from somebody. Uh
I have no idea. Because I
like
remember
you
reading
I
from her blog that she was like, "Yeah, they
maybe.
have to help me in." Like,
That's possible. But
yeah,
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not like I'm not gonna pretend like I'm hopeful. Like I don't expect her to have much
yeah,
of a run, but I would love to see her, get a small little run. I would love like I made the joke, but I would love to see like her challenge for the GHC belt that she kind of created.
Yeah.
She spoke into existence. She was the first. I would love to see that, for example. I would love to see her and Utami just do a little thing.
Oh,
Um,
dude, yeah.
even if
What a feud.
even if she
Oh,
is broken down and can't do much, I would love to see her do a couple matches, especially in Nagoya. Like just pop the
yeah.
house a little bit. Would be nice. So yeah, I that's optimistically what I'm looking at is like
Mm.
her wrestling this and then being like, I'm going to have a proper return match either on the Hana show or uh she'll like be like, I'm returning to Marigold, like I'm gonna be a wrestler sometimes here.
Hmm.
Like I but realistically she's probably uh at most doing this to start a retirement road.
Yeah, I mean, her own quotes don't give me much confidence.
Yeah.
But like, she's a wrestler. Stranger things have happened with wrestlers. They are
Yeah.
insanely done people. But either way, I'm not going to rain on people's parades. People were very happy she came back. I was kind of pleasantly surprised. She's
Yeah,
a
you hate her.
nostalgic name at
And
this.
even you
Stop
are.
it. I don't hate her. I actually she had one of my favorite entrance themes ever with the TCS one she had. With the like the gun click into the beat. And it's very upsetting that she doesn't have that anymore because that was one of my
I
favorites.
I loved a lot of uh jungle theme songs actually. One of my favorites was the specialty Jungle Assault Nation theme song that had the intro and the lyrics. Uh, and I quote it all the time where it
I
goes,
don't know if I ever got that.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the jungle. Please enjoy Jungle World with us." And then it just like goes fucking insane. It's great. It's phenomenal.
I don't
Um,
think I ever heard that one.
I
Maybe
think
I'm mistaken.
either it was only used when her and Natsuko teamed together, or it was only used
Mm,
when they had the artists, like when there was like
possibly.
a faction, like it was a faction theme song. But yeah, I remember hearing it a few times, and I was like, "This is fucking badass. I love this." Um, I'm a big Jungle Assault Nation guy, as you can tell.
Yes.
I think it's pretty obvious. Um, so yeah, I'm happy to see her, even if it is just for these 5 minutes. I'm excited to see just you know, it's wrestling's a beautiful thing that even even with two not working legs, uh, you can make something happen. Hopefully,
That is true.
God willing.
Now we have one more thing to look forward to, but I think we should take a quick break, quick breather, and then
That's
get
fine.
straight into the passion. So, so our last thing to preview is Muscle Bar Japan presents All's Well That Ends Well, Passion, in Shinjuku Face. This is going to have a Kiss World Song Corner, which is the little idol group that Nanae and Momoe were in as part of AJW. And then we go with First Passion, Utami Hayashishita versus Zones of Pro Wrestling Evo. That is going to be a win for Utami because Zones does not get to beat any pushed wrestlers, but that's going to be a pretty fun match.
Yes, and I'm definitely interested in it. Because Zones has a bit of that like problem where she's, funnily enough, not good at like wrestling up. Like
Yeah.
most wrestlers have a hard time wrestling down, but she's actually great at that. um, but yeah, so she's like I'm interested in that. Um, I think Utami can
Yeah, I
I
think
think
as the
Utami can get something
opener,
cool.
they'll have room to kind of do stuff without the
Yeah,
crowd being too
and even if it
crowded.
isn't great, it is the opener, so it's like just a fine match will suffice. If that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
you could just kind of do like some cool stuff and then get out. It's not
All
like
right.
it's you know it the show doesn't hinge on it, which is great.
No, yeah, that's true. Passion 2 is the Nanamomo final. Nanai and Momoe Nakanishi versus Victoria Yuzuki and Seri Yamioka. That is second on the card so that they can go to a TLD for sure. That should be a
Yes.
fun one. I
Well,
mean,
maybe. I mean, I could also see just like Momoe rolling up Yuzuki. Like I could also
possibly.
just see like that just happening. I think the reason why this is early isn't even necessarily because of the time limit. I think it's because the match doesn't need to go past 15.
That's
Like
true.
you can just do this in 12 minutes.
I think it will go
Um,
15 though.
it probably will, but I'm just like I think the main event, realistically, to get all the shit in, you need more than 15.
Yeah.
So I get why they replaced the two. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. Oh, this is on a Monday. That's weird. Isn't it? Monday for a wrestling show. Anyway, um,
Marigold like runs Mondays constantly.
that's true. So third passion is Miko Ono and Miyuki Takase, formerly of Actress Girls, taking on Yumika Hoda and Miku Kanai, also formerly of Actress Girls. So this is a bit of a reunion for them. Hopefully we get a lot of Iono Hota minutes because Hota is pretty beast. And yeah, Kanai is probably there to take a pinfall.
Yes,
Either
but I
her or
think it'll be good
Takase.
still.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. Semi-final passion: Hiroya Matsumoto versus Chika Goto. Hiroya has been injured for a while. I actually haven't seen her on a show in a good bit. Is this her comeback, or is she back already? Or something
I'm
else.
pretty sure she's Russ. Oh wait, I haven't seen her. Hold on, it's the last time I saw her wrestle.
See, Sendai hasn't run in about 2 weeks, so maybe that's why. But who's to say?
Yeah, I haven't seen her since
Yeah.
Seedling in February.
Oh shit. Yeah. Anyway, that's a good match. Hiroya was the perfect pair for Chika Goto. Like, she is going to do all the stuff that makes Goto stand out. And I think it could be a very, very good match. And Hiroya will win because she's got that class of '06 swag now.
Yeah, true. I mean, I think it'll be really cool to see Chikagoto against somebody different. Not different, but
Hmm.
like you know what I mean, like somebody who hopefully brings something cool out of her.
Yeah.
But it could kind of fall flat because Chikagoto has a down like a pitfall with that in certain singles matches sometimes.
I think
Um,
Hiroya will just hit her until it's good.
that's what I
So that's
expect.
pretty
That's what I
beast.
expect.
Yeah,
And I think it has a pretty high ceiling of just like being a really fun match.
I agree. And then we have main event passion. Passion Explosion. Nanae Takahashi, Yu and Mirai versus Chihiro Hashimoto, Ryo Mizunami, and Rina Yamashita. This is impossible to tell. I could see a world where Chihiro Hashimoto wins. Maybe they set up the Yoyogi match for Nanae, and it's like 7-Up versus Chihiro and somebody else. Because I think Nanae really likes Chihiro, and might want her involved in the retirement.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Nanai will be on the Mako show.
That's
Obviously.
true.
So I think that like it could set up that,
Possible.
but I don't know. I mean, I like this match. I think it'll be interesting. I would love to see another 7 Up come out of this, like a
Hmm.
last 7 Up properly. Um, and I think that could be at the Mako show, or it could be at. I don't think they're gonna do 7 Up at the
Yoyogi?
their. Oh wait, Yoyogi for Senda. Yeah, okay. Because whenever I think of Yoyogi, I'm just like, yeah, but that's Mako and Nanai, but
No,
Mako
yeah,
already had her Yoyogi.
he did.
So the only Yoyogi coming up is okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think
I would
they're gonna
imagine
run.
if you is on the Sendai thing, it would be 200 kg versus somebody, rather than 7-Up. So 7-Up would be for Marigold.
I don't know. They haven't used you yet properly.
Well, Sendai hasn't run in a while. It kind of went dormant there
True.
after the Aja Mako tag. So who's to say? I don't know. I'm also excited for Aniki and Mirai doing stuff. Because like that's two people who should work well together when you look at realistically what they could deliver. Um, but yeah, Rini Yamashita is the only one I'm not excited for, which is a shame because she used to be awesome. But I think GCW and the deathmatch stuff got to her, and she's not as good. So
She's still good at tags. Like I think
kind of.
she
She's
still
not
has
borderless
her
Rini Yamashita
place.
anymore. And that woman
Well,
is
yeah, but
long
she still has her lanes that she can really show out in.
kind of. But she's definitely like the weakest in the match as far as like excitement goes.
Well, yeah.
'Cause, like Ryu Mizunami getting in there with Nanai or Mariah, I'm like hell yeah, and obviously Chihiro getting in there with any of them is awesome. Um, yeah, Rini Yamashita, I'm not sure. So that is gonna be a fun show. You know, all's well that ends well. Ain't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. They have the jungle promo there. I'm full of passion. Yeah. 25 minutes exhibition, 27th of April. It's gonna be fun. But that is the show. That is all from Marigold. They don't run again until Korakuen, I believe, on the 25th or 20th. I cannot remember. But they're going a bit quiet because they were meant to be in Vegas with everybody else. Do you have any closing remarks, Dylan?
Uh, Not really. I mean,
No.
I'm excited for more wrestling to come. Uh, Not really this weekend. Well, no, the Nanae show I'm really excited about, to be fair.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
that's.
I mean, end of Bozilla. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I feel like that's Scott kept saying it on his shows, which y'all may or may not listen to, up to y'all. But that it really does feel like a lot of shit is like on the verge of or already actively changing. Like it feels like everything just needs like a few more like nudges and
Yeah.
everything's gonna get set on fire type of thing. Uh and for Stardom, I feel like this weekend is really like a barricade before that. I'm just like, can we just get there? Like I don't get like, that's why and I apologize if I was too negative earlier in our preview. I was like, that's why I was just like, can we just can we hurry this up? Like can we can we get to the meat? Um but yeah, interesting month. We'll see what goes down.
All right. I was gonna say something, but it's completely gone.
Did I talk too much? I know, my bad.
No, no, it's my own fault. Much like the Denver Nuggets, we're gonna make bad decisions, but stick with
Always,
us anyway.
always.
Uh, with that, it's time to close the show. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in.
Ijo. Shine Forever,
Oh,
Stardom Quest Goldo. That's what it is.
whoa,
Ijo.
almost messed up. Easy, Maybe you are the Denver Nuggets.
Hey,